The criminal justice system is an extremely comprehensive and complicated system that is very flowing from one part to the next. And there are basically three main parts. And in reality, they all work together, but they take individuals at different stages of the criminal justice system. The first is law enforcement, the second is the courts, and the third is corrections. Now, there are multiple different professions in each of these, and as I said before, they all work together because the law enforcement will basically go out and arrest and detain the suspect. It would be the court's job then to determine whether or not that suspect is guilty, and if they are, they would have to determine certain conditions for them, either their sentences if they're going to jail, maybe diversion programs, possibly a bail order. And then if they are prosecuted, then they go into corrections. And then corrections can be either community corrections, such as probation, parole, or actual detainment, in which you would have corrections officers and mental evaluators that would impact their daily lives. Whereas in the community corrections aspect, you would still be out in society, but you would be monitored and punished if you break the conditions of the courts, as well as possibly being rearrested for a new crime. So I'm going to talk about six different jobs and whether or not I think that I am a good fit for them based on my skills. Also, I'm going to describe the jobs a little bit, and I chose two from each end of the spectrum. So I'm going to start out with a job that I do think that I would be good at in law enforcement, being an FBI agent, because they qualify from a multitude of fields. I'm good with technology. I have Spanish skills. Those are two things that are very desired in the field of the FBI. Basic duties include protecting the country from terrorist attacks, protecting against foreign invasion, and protecting against cyber-based attacks. However, during certain caseloads, a certain criminal could become so dangerous that it is the federal authorities' job to go out and get them, as an investigation could be launched and the FBI comes in, even if it's a crazy serial killer or an extreme drug front. That could also be the FBI's job. I think I would really enjoy being an FBI agent because of the training aspect of it. I would love to go through the academy. I've always done martial arts my entire life, so I'm so used to learning new things and being trained. So I think that that would be really, really interesting for me. I also just think that I would never be bored at work. I think that it would be something that I would be able to enjoy every single day because there'd be new issues that arise. Up next is a job that I don't think that I would like in law enforcement, and that's being a police officer. Basically, the police handle the lowest risk of caseloads. It could be something as basic as a traffic stop or a bunch of drunk kids handing them, I genuinely don't agree with a lot of the things that the police do, so I don't think that I would make a good officer. It just, as someone, who's experienced life, I could never, arrest a kid for drinking who underage. Yes, it's against the law, but I would never want to actually punish them. I would also feel bad handing out speeding tickets and writing people up for using drugs. I also think, in contrast to what I was saying about the FBI, that I think the police's day would be a little bit more mundane. Like I said, I would get tired of just writing people citations all the time. I know that the police do certain things and have certain times that are more exciting, but I would just say overall, I would not want to be a police officer. Then we get to attorneys, and law school is something that I am highly considering, so I could see myself being an attorney. Basically, depending on what side you're on, you have to, placate your opinion and try and either defend your client or defend the state when it comes to prosecution side. I've always admired attorneys. I've always wanted to be someone who is easy to convince other people to do certain things. So I think that I would have good skills as an orator for being an attorney. Also, going along with that, the other job that I will mention from the court section is a judge, and they are either appointed or elected, so it's important for them to form a reputation with politicians and the public. That's according to Johnston. Also, they must have a vast knowledge of the legal system, and the minimum's 2 years of being an attorney before you can be a judge, but obviously most legit judges have been attorneys for a long time. I think I would enjoy presiding over the hearing and instructing jurors, as well as making decisions in court. And then finally, we'll go to the corrections aspect. Start out with the one that I don't want to do, forensics. According to Johnson, forensic science uses science and technology to investigate facts in criminal and civil courts. The technological part of forensics is something that I thought that I used to want to do, but after actually taking place in a shadow day, watching people break down computers and go through files, I really didn't enjoy it. Finally, a probation officer, a law enforcement officer who supervises criminals who have been released in incarceration but are still in control of the criminal justice system. They also have the power to arrest and detain people. This is actually what I want to do. I think all my skills lead toward it, as well as my solid writing skills because of writing pre-sentence reports and getting along well with the criminals. That way we have an established rapport, which is very important.